Alright, the very last setting within Lightroom on the bottom here, the very last, actually they're kind of like a group of two settings that are pretty similar, and they are, so you have previous here, and once you hit previous it says basic tones from previous and all from previous. And then the next, or the last button here on the far right is called reset. And reset means reset to, like, if you've made some adjustments to your photograph and you want it to look like it did exactly when you imported it, you simply click reset and then to import. So that is the way it looked right when I imported it. If I want it back to the way it was, I believe I can hit all from previous, and I have a modified version again. So again, to import, that's the way it was, that's the way it looked when I imported it, and from, all from previous. So I think, it's a little bit counterintuitive to me, like how they've laid this out: basic tones from previous, all from previous. Maybe once you get the hang of it, it's not a problem. I'm sure you can work efficiently with these. I will have to say the desktop version of the software is a little bit more intuitive to me as far as this goes. The one thing I do think the one thing that I think could be important would be if you make some adjustments and you simply just want to go back to import. Or if maybe you made one adjustment and then you're like, oh my gosh, I don't want it to look like that, then you can skip back just like to a previous version of it. But in general, going back to just where it's imported and then try again, make your adjustments and so on. That could be helpful, especially if you modify a photograph and then a couple days pass and then you're like, well, what did the original, you could always click this button here actually to see what it's like. But if you want to give it another shot, and let me go into the all from previous. Instead of actually hitting reset to import, you could simply always click this button up here, and then you always know. That just sort of flashes the original imported version there. So you could make copies of your image if within let's see, copy to, copy settings, show hide histogram, show. These three dots up here allow you to allow some different options. Like from here you can delete your photograph. You could copy it to, we want to copy it to like a new collection. If you copy an image, say you have the original and then you want to copy it so that you can modify the copied one and always have the original. That's a workflow that works for some people. But in general, I just kind of always modify my originals, and then I can always, with a click of a button, see what the original look like, and it's up to you. A lot of this it's just kind of whatever your workflow is, it works best for you. And when you're done, you can actually just you could share it. You get to choose always choose the maximum available if you've spent so much time modifying this, and then here are all your options. We've explored it earlier, but save image there. Always remember too, and you already know this because you've been doing it in this class, but save to camera roll is what you have to do in order to get this photograph actually onto your iPhone's Photos album. So now we've explored all of these different settings here on the bottom, and we're not fully done with exploring Lightroom, because one thing we haven't looked at is the camera. And there are actually some settings within this camera that are pretty unique and can advance your photography. So we'll check those out in the next block.